Hi, Elise.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
Awesome. Do you go by Nicholas or Nick?
Oh, Nick's fine.
Nick. Okay. Well, it's so nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you as well. This is
Yeah.
honestly a dream come true. There's a lot of days, drive around thinking about, doing this call here. So it's
Oh
really
my
fun.
gosh. You're so prepared. I just got your email. I saw the before and after. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to hear how this went. I know I just have a couple of questions. I know that Jessa kind of told you what we'd be talking about today, but
Mhm.
um, just first off, kind of introduce yourself and where you're at, just so if other people in the area that you're in can connect with you.
Yeah, so I'm actually in the Kansas City market, and it's an awesome market. There's a really active Facebook community here where there's some really great people doing big things, and it's very encouraging as well. So really love being in the Kansas City market. I do web design and SEO right now, but as well as the real estate stuff, and so we're starting to kind of ramp that up. And
Wow.
yeah, so that's kind of where we're at.
You have your hands in some different cookie jars. So are you full time then doing the SEO and web design?
So I've kind of started to pull back on that just as I've started to see. I mean, within 2 years, real estate's really started to change my life in a big way, and I just have to pursue it with everything I've got. Is kind of how I'm feeling now. So
Oh my gosh, I love it. So tell me how did you come into real estate investing and what led you to using Deal Machine?
yeah, so a couple years ago, my wife and I, it was really out of necessity. Been an entrepreneur my whole life, and I was always interested in real estate. But we started our the web design business, and we had an e-commerce business as well. But it was just in the beginning phases, and so we were living with my in-laws at the time, and just trying to grow that. And so our income, wasn't where it needed to be to buy a starter home, even in the area that we're at. Starter homes here are $300,000 in this city, and so we wanted to be in Liberty, which is where our family's at. So I knew we'd have to get something to rehab. And at that point, I had a family friend. His name's Jeff Beckham, and I knew he's been an investor for 20 years. And I called him up and said, "Hey, Jeff, do you have anything?" And I didn't think he would have anything in Liberty, but I was hoping just in the surrounding areas. And sure enough, he did in the heart of Liberty. But it was a mess. I mean, it was 5 40-yard dumpsters. It was a hoarder house. We were picking nails out of the yard for months afterwards, and it was a huge undertaking. But I think we were just new enough, and we were like crazy enough to do it. So we bought it from him, and we started the rehab process on it. And
Oh my gosh.
after that, we lived in it for a year, and and then I talked to my wife and was like, "Hey, let's sell this and kind of take that money and really start to go with down this real estate journey."
That's amazing.
So
So what kind of real estate did you or what kind are you doing? Are you doing more just flipping, or do you do wholesaling? Do you do buy and holds? Like, are you wanting to do all of it? Kind of what is your specialty then?
I'm kind of wanting to do all of it, but yeah. So what happened was after that house, I asked Jeff, the guy that had sold the house to us. I asked him, "Hey, do you have any educational resources or anything that I just was hungry at that point?" And he said, "Hey, go check out Bigger Pockets podcast." And so I started listening to a couple episodes every day, just while working or while walking the dog, and just hearing all those success stories and all of that is what just got me fired up and led me to believe, hey, I can do this as well. And so that's kind of what got me going. And then I was in those Facebook groups, and I was on the wholesalers list, but I would show up to I would go to a showing, and there'd be 15 trucks there, and
Wow.
it was just crazy, and it was very competitive. And I'd go see the house just for just to learn, but I already knew it was going to get bid up, and it just wasn't going to work. And so um, and then Jeff was like, "Hey, if you find me a deal, I'll do it with you." And so that was what I went and just started doing all that. And I got tired of going to those showings. So I was like, and then I heard on Bigger Pockets, someone was talking about driving for dollars in the Deal Machine app. I was like, you know what? I got to try this. I got to try this. And so I just downloaded the app and I drove every street in Liberty, and I drove all the surrounding, areas, and just started looking for properties.
So you were the sole driver of
Yeah.
getting all the properties. So tell me what led to, is this your first deal with Deal Machine?
Yeah. So this is the first deal with DealMachine. And actually, Jeff drove a little bit, but he's got a full-time job and all that. So I have my own business. So I just would go driving for some time and all that. But this was the first deal. And I remember coming across this house, and it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,700 square feet. And I remember, oh, out of all of the houses I've entered into Deal Machine, if I could get this one, that would be just, this is the one I want. And sure enough, he called, and my partner Jeff went out there and negotiated the deal, and we ended up getting it for $48,000.
Wow, in the Liberty area that you said was like
Yeah,
for six-figure houses and
yeah, yeah,
100K.
yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, and so it was they're little bits. That's a little. It's a really nice area, but those houses aren't 300. But we ended up putting 75,000 into it. It was a huge rehab, and then I mean, it needed everything you can think of. I mean, foundations, foundation repair, roof, interior, exterior paint, brand new kitchen, all new, bathroom remodels, all that. And it took us 5-6 months to do it, but we ended up selling it for 226 is what we
Oh my
sold.
gosh. So do the math for me. What did you make off of that then?
$87,000. Um,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Did you like kind of just, I don't know, like I would
yeah.
just
I ran
know
up
what
and
to
down.
say.
I ran up and down my street. I did. When he told me we got that house, I just I couldn't believe it. Really, honestly. So
Oh
yeah,
my gosh. And that's just like, I mean, you said it was a total just gut job.
yeah,
And I'm
for sure.
sure that things popped up like
Hmm.
that. What would you, I'm sorry, this is not one of the questions, but I always come up
That's
with
okay.
one on the thing. But for people who wanting to go into flipping, like what is a piece of advice you would give them? I know that
Yeah,
there's a lot that goes into it. So what
yeah.
would you wish you would have known?
On this one, I honestly wish I probably would have wholesaled it, because I think we could have made similar profit on it, actually. And in hindsight, but hindsight's 2020. And honestly, at the same time, I learned so much, and I made so many great relationships and met great contractors and all of that. And it was a it was a wonderful learning experience. But I do think opportunity costs. I mean, it took me 5 or 6 months of my life. Like, it was very stressful, as well. So wholesaling now, I'm starting to see the beauty of wholesaling, I think, a little bit more. So
It
yeah,
is kind of like when I first heard about wholesaling, I was like, this seems too good to be true here. To be the middleman, but it's the grind. So did you just send postcards then? How did you get in contact with this seller?
yeah. So I just sent postcards, and he called. And I guess in the Midwest we have a pretty good response rate. I mean, I've really not sent that many postcards, and I'm going to ramp that up soon. But off of just the few that I think I don't even know. I think 1,200 or something like that. We got that one, which was 87,000. We had another gentleman that tried to sell us 2 duplexes and 2 houses. I've got one across the street from a house I just purchased. Actually, I sent a mailer to him, and now I'm talking to him about buying the house right across the street from me. So that would be a nice commute if I could just walk over there and do some work. So
Pour your
uh,
coffee in the morning and just go on over. It's
yeah,
fine. So
yeah,
this is crazy. So you sent out 1,200 postcards
yeah,
roughly,
yeah.
and you've gotten almost, do you have those other two under contract yet?
So the other ones ended up falling through. It was too big of a deal, and it just, well, I mean, I think it maybe was a mental block. I think it could have been a really good deal, but it was 490,000 was what he was asking for the 2 duplexes and the 2 houses. And I think that was just a little too much, too big of a risk to take at this point. So I mean, I could have you're wholesaling it. It would have limited the risk, of course. And there was also another investor involved, and so it ended up falling through. But we had a really good shot at it. So
Hey, and you made a relationship. So that's
yeah,
like huge. And just so everyone who's listening, like that happens. Like it's not, um, I just got a call yesterday off a postcard, and the same-ish situation, wants so much money for it that it's kind of like you have to be realistic with what you can handle, plus like
Hmm.
what actually makes sense for your time. So, um, you sound like you have the like from doing your first house of for yourself and then having to do this one as well. Like, do you find joy in the flipping, or and you said that you think you're going to go onward and doing wholesaling more? Are you looking to do more of this full time then and transition into that?
Yeah, for sure. And I just got my real estate license as well, so I'm hoping to throw in a little bit of that and
Ooh, he's
yeah,
gonna
do some.
start wholetailing these houses. He's not
Yeah.
just gonna wholesale. I love it.
Mhm.
That's so hot right now. Is
Mhm.
so many people are leveraging those different ways you can give the homeowners options.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
for sure.
amazing. Okay, my last question usually is for people who are just starting out in real estate investing, what are three pieces of advice you would give them?
I would say find a mentor. That's the first one. That was invaluable. They'll get you past roadblocks that you have, and you might be worried about the contracts, and they've got contracts set up. Or if you want to, start maybe acquire a couple rentals, they have those agreements, and they've just seen a lot, and maybe they even have the funds. And I know starting out, that was a big mental block for me was, how am I going to get the money to do all of this, right? And so, Jeff, my partner, actually funded that Kingston flip, and we're doing another one together right now, a couple streets over, and we're doing that one as well. So yeah, find a mentor and then add value. I think for Jeff, I was bringing him deals. I started driving. I even his website was a bit outdated, so I even built him a new website. So
Hey.
just whatever you can do to add value. And yeah, that's the first one. The second one would be focus on your education. So listening to Bigger Pockets, Read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Mm.
My wife and I read that one together, and it's a lot more fun to do this real estate thing if you've got your significant other on board. It was she's all she's ready to go and excited, and that was why we were able to sell that first house. Is she was like, because she was really attached to it, and we had put our heart and soul into it, but she's like, hey, I see the vision, let's go for it. So we're going to try to acquire some rentals, and just keep going with this thing.
So
So
this is not definitely not the last time I talk to you because
I hope not. I
we're
hope
going to
not.
be talking quite a bit then. Are you so what are the goals for 2021 then?
So I'm talking to Zach Booth, who I know you guys know, and that's probably going to join his course and
Love it.
just get some accountability. And I'd like to just start, creating a system. I feel like this is a lot of hustle and a lot of luck right now, and I would like to. I'd like it to be more of a business, and know that have some metrics. I'm sending 1,000 postcards a month or whatever that number is, and I'm going to get 2 or 3 deals from that, and just kind of have a just more of a system to it all. So
Yes.
that's where we're
But
going.
you did the hardest thing, which is just getting out there and doing it. Because
Mm,
you can get, I know a lot of people get stuck in analysis paralysis of like, I need the systems, but
mhm,
really you need the deal. And
mhm,
then you can
mhm.
start doing the systems. But if you need any help with that, Zach's phenomenal. So he'll get you through that. But if you need any help, you have my email now. So you just
Okay.
feel free to reach out to me if you need anything. Honestly, after seeing David go through one of his flips, 75, I thought it was going to be way more than that when you said that's how much you guys spent. Cause
Mm.
when you said it's like a total. So that's amazing what you guys did. That's so amazing. And I want to send you and your wife some DealMachine swag.
Awesome.
Actually, I'll send Jeff some too, just
Cool.
because he was a part of this.
Yeah.
So I'll get you guys 3 hats. So after this, I'll send you an email that has a link, and then it'll comp out the hats at the very end. You just have to add them to the cart.
So I'm in the Deal Machine Facebook group as well, and so my last thing I wanted to say was just keep going. It was 4 or 5 months where a deal would almost happen and it would fall through. I would be driving. I had a $5,000 cashier's check. I would be driving to give it to the wholesaler, and it would, oh hey, sorry, someone was closer than you and just bought it. Bought it out from under you, and so just that kept happening for 4 or 5 months, and it was, it can get, you can get kind of down, and then but if I had to say, they would just be that your first deal is the next street over. It's a street away, and just keep driving.
I love that. And I love that you said that you found one in your neighborhood because I think that probably 75% of the people I talk to, it's like places, once you get
Mhm.
the mindset of looking for these houses, they're like everywhere.
Yeah, I even started, and I need to do more of it, but I started running for dollars, and I'm like, just start jogging your neighborhood and just running and play some fun music and go at some houses.
And you said
That's
you have a dog.
Yeah, yeah. Take your dog with you.
And then there's a conversation starter if you see someone.
Hmm.
People love dogs. That's a great conversation. And actually, I think running for dollars, I walk for dollars in my neighborhood. So I feel you on that. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, you guys, the community is awesome, and the app is great. So I really appreciate you guys. I mean, you guys changing my life.
I'm so happy. That literally makes my heart so happy to hear because and now knowing that you're going into 2021 and it's just please let me know how it's going because I'd love to have you get on a webinar and like do other things once you guys start ramping up more. I'd
Yeah.
love for people to learn from you.
Oh, well, I'd love to do that. That'd be great. Can I give one last piece of advice that I think is kind of relevant? I just had something happen, and it would have ruined me. Well, not ruined me. I mean, I would have kept going, obviously. But we just had a house that we were set to close on Monday, and we had done the whole rehab and everything, and it was beautiful. We had the buyer set up, and we went to do the last walkthrough, and a pipette froze and burst and destroyed the entire inside of the property. Um, and so I had insurance on it. So now we're going through that whole process. But please, if you're going to do a flip, put insurance, get remodelers insurance on that property because it's looking like it's going to be a, huge
Oh
loss.
my gosh.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh, my
Yeah.
heart just dropped.
Oh yeah. Monday was a interesting day. But we're going to persevere through it, and it's a bummer, but it's going to be a good learning experience. And we're going to do, there's nothing like rehabbing a property you've already rehabbed.
Oh
So
my gosh.
we're going to go do that.
And you said to your wife, like your wife said, you put your heart and soul into it. So it's like,
Mhm.
but look at you persevering. Get that insurance, people.
Get that insurance.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, tell your wife, happy new year, happy holidays, and please keep in touch, okay?
Okay. Sounds great. And yeah, thank you so much for your time, and
Of course.
it's great talking to you.
You too, Nick. Have a good one.